Welcome to Armchair Archaeology. Today we're embarking on a fascinating journey into the world of ancient philosophy, where the ideas of thinkers like Confucius, Socrates, and Zoroaster not only shaped their civilizations, but continue to influence our modern world. These philosophers tackled some of the most profound questions about life, morality, and society, and their ideas have stood the test of time. And here's something intriguing. Before we conclude, I'll reveal a surprising connection that links these ancient minds in a way that still impacts our lives today. Stick around to discover this unexpected link and gain a deeper appreciation for the wisdom of the ancients. Ancient philosophy emerged as an essential part of human civilization's efforts to understand the world and their place within it. Long before the establishment of formal philosophical schools, various cultures engaged in deep reflection on life's most profound questions: existence, morality, and the cosmos. In ancient Mesopotamia, the Epic of Gilgamesh stands as one of the earliest recorded reflections on human destiny, mortality, and the quest for meaning. This epic poem not only encapsulates the values and beliefs of Mesopotamian society, but also introduces themes like the pursuit of eternal life, which have echoed throughout history. In ancient Egypt, the concept of Ma'at, symbolizing truth, balance, and cosmic order, was not merely a philosophical idea, but a guiding principle that influenced the entire civilization. Ma'at was foundational to Egyptian law, governance, and daily life, ensuring that harmony and justice were upheld throughout society. Meanwhile, in ancient India, the Vedic texts provided the earliest philosophical insights into the nature of reality and the self, laying the groundwork for later developments in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. These texts introduced concepts like dharma, moral duty, and karma, cause and effect, which would become central to Indian thought. China's early philosophical ideas are captured in the I Ching, or Book of Changes, which explores the duality and constant flux of the universe. These concepts would later shape Confucian and Daoist philosophies, emphasizing the balance between opposing forces. As societies became more complex, these early reflections evolved into more structured systems of thought, marking the shift from mythological to reasoned explanations. Collectively, these early philosophies laid the foundation for the major traditions that would shape human thought, each contributing unique perspectives to our understanding of the world. Confucius, known as Confuzi, profoundly influenced Chinese civilization with his teachings on morality, respect, and social harmony. Born in 551 BCE, during the politically unstable spring and autumn period, Confucius sought to restore order through a philosophy that emphasized ethical conduct and the importance of relationships. His ideas, later compiled by his disciples in the Analects, center around ren, or humaneness, a virtue that Confucius believed was essential for a well-functioning society. Confucius taught that individuals should cultivate ren through virtues such as respect, loyalty, and righteousness, starting within the family and extending to broader society. This philosophy is closely tied to li, or proper conduct, and rituals, which Confucius saw as vital for maintaining social order. He advocated that rulers should lead by moral example rather than by force, promoting a governance style rooted in ethical leadership. Filial piety, or xiao, is another cornerstone of Confucian thought, reflecting the importance of respect for one's parents and ancestors. This concept was seen as the foundation of a stable and orderly society, where each person knew their place and fulfilled their duties. Confucius's teachings had a lasting impact on Chinese governance, education, and family life, shaping the cultural values of East Asia for over 2 millennia. Even today, Confucianism continues to influence societies in China, Korea, Japan, and beyond. The emphasis on social harmony, Respect for authority and moral integrity remains deeply ingrained in these cultures, demonstrating the enduring relevance of Confucius's ideas. His vision for a well-ordered, virtuous society continues to guide and inspire, proving that his teachings are as meaningful now as they were over 2,000 years ago. Socrates, born in Athens around 470 BCE, is often regarded as the father of Western philosophy due to his profound influence on the course of intellectual history. Unlike many philosophers of his time, Socrates wrote nothing down, so what we know of his ideas comes primarily from the works of his students, particularly Plato. Socrates introduced a new method of inquiry known as the Socratic method, which involves asking a series of questions to challenge assumptions and stimulate critical thinking. This approach marked a significant shift from traditional teachings, as it emphasized dialogue and the pursuit of truth through rigorous examination. Socrates was less concerned with speculative theories about the cosmos and more focused on practical ethics, how one should live a good life. His famous assertion that the unexamined life is not worth living reflects his belief in the importance of self-reflection and moral integrity. He challenged the social and moral norms of Athenian society, questioning traditional beliefs about justice, virtue, and piety. This relentless pursuit of truth, however, made him a controversial figure, and his critiques of Athenian democracy and the elites led to his trial and execution in 399 BCE on charges of corrupting the youth and impiety. Despite his tragic end, Socrates' legacy has endured through the ages. Plato immortalized Socrates in his dialogues, portraying him as the quintessential philosopher committed to the search for truth, even in the face of death. The Socratic method remains a fundamental tool in education, particularly in the fields of law and ethics, where it is used to foster critical thinking and reasoned debate. Socrates' emphasis on questioning and dialogue laid the groundwork for Western philosophical traditions, making him a pivotal figure in the history of thought. Plato and Aristotle, two of the most significant figures in Western philosophy, were profoundly influenced by Socrates, yet each developed distinct philosophies that have shaped intellectual history. Plato, a student of Socrates, founded the Academy in Athens, one of the first institutions of higher learning in the Western world. His philosophy is centered on the theory of forms, which posits that the material world is a mere shadow of a higher, unchanging reality. In his work, The Republic, Plato explores the nature of justice and the ideal state, arguing that only philosopher kings, those who understand the forms, are fit to rule. Plato's ideas, particularly his emphasis on reason and the pursuit of truth, have had a lasting impact on Western thought. His exploration of metaphysics, ethics, and political theory laid the foundation for many subsequent philosophical developments. Plato's vision of a just society, where rulers are guided by wisdom rather than power, remains influential in discussions about governance and morality. Aristotle, Plato's most famous student, diverged from his teacher by focusing on empirical observation and practical knowledge. While Plato emphasized ideal forms, Aristotle was more concerned with understanding the physical world and how things function within it. Aristotle's contributions to logic, biology, ethics, and politics have been foundational to the development of Western science and philosophy. His method of logical analysis and classification laid the groundwork for the scientific method, making him a key figure in the history of science. In ethics, Aristotle introduced the concept of the golden mean, the idea that virtue lies between excess and deficiency. His work, Nicomachean Ethics, remains a cornerstone of moral philosophy, advocating for a life guided by reason and balanced by virtue. Politically, Aristotle's analysis of different forms of government in his work, Politics, has influenced the development of political theory, particularly his emphasis on the role of the middle class in achieving stable governance. Together, Plato and Aristotle provided a dual legacy of idealism and empiricism, shaping Western thought for centuries. Zoroaster, also known as Zarathustra, was a prophet from ancient Persia who founded Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions. His teachings, which emerged around the 6th century BCE, introduced the concept of dualism, the idea of a cosmic struggle between good and evil. This dualistic worldview became the cornerstone of Zoroastrian philosophy and deeply influenced Persian culture and religion. At the heart of Zoroastrianism is the belief in Ahura Mazda, the supreme god representing truth, light, and goodness, who is in a constant battle with Angra Mainyu, the spirit of chaos and evil. Zoroaster taught that human beings have a crucial role to play in this cosmic struggle, with their choices and actions influencing the balance between good and evil. He emphasized the importance of free will and moral responsibility, encouraging people to live a life of good thoughts, good words, and good deeds to align themselves with Ahura Mazda. The dualism of Zoroastrianism did not only shape Persian religious practices, but also left a lasting impact on other major religions, including Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Concepts such as heaven and hell, the final judgment, and the battle between good and evil in these religions can be traced back to Zoroastrian influence. Although Zoroastrianism is now a minority religion, its legacy endures through these contributions to global religious thought. Zoroaster's teachings continue to resonate in discussions about morality, justice, and the nature of the universe. His emphasis on ethical behavior and the struggle between good and evil remains relevant today, providing a framework for understanding the complexities of human life and the moral choices we face. Buddhist philosophy, originating in ancient India, provides profound insights into the nature of suffering, consciousness, and the self. Founded by Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, around the 6th century BCE, Buddhism offers a unique path to enlightenment that focuses on personal experience and inner transformation rather than ritualistic practices. Central to Buddhist thought are the Four Noble Truths, which articulate the essence of human suffering, dukkha, and the path to its cessation. The first of these truths acknowledges that suffering is an inherent part of life. The second truth identifies attachment and desire as the root causes of suffering. The third truth offers hope, teaching that it is possible to overcome suffering. The fourth truth outlines the Eightfold Path, a guide for ethical living, mental discipline, and wisdom, which leads to nirvana, the ultimate state of liberation from the cycle of birth and rebirth, samsara. Buddhist philosophers such as Nagarjuna and Vasubandhu further developed these teachings, delving into complex ideas like emptiness, shunyata, and dependent origination. Nagarjuna, considered the founder of the Madhyamaka school, argued that all phenomena are empty of inherent existence, challenging the very notion of a permanent self. This concept emphasizes the interconnectedness of all things and the fluid nature of reality. Vasubandhu, a key figure in the Yogacara school, contributed significantly to Buddhist psychology, exploring how our perceptions shape our experiences of reality. The influence of Buddhist philosophy extends far beyond religion, deeply impacting ethical and philosophical thought across Asia. Its teachings on mindfulness, compassion, and the nature of suffering resonate in modern discussions on psychology, ethics, and spirituality. Today, the principles of Buddhist philosophy are widely applied in practices such as mindfulness meditation, demonstrating the timeless relevance of these ancient teachings in helping individuals navigate the complexities of life. Laozi, traditionally regarded as the founder of Daoism, introduced a philosophy that emphasizes living in harmony with the Tao, or the fundamental order of the universe. Emerging around the 6th century BCE, Daoism presents a worldview that contrasts sharply with the rigid structures of Confucianism, offering a more fluid and intuitive approach to life. The Tao, often translated as the Way, is an ineffable force that permeates all things and guides the natural order. Laozi taught that to live in harmony with the Tao, one must practice Wu Wei, which translates to non-action or effortless action. This concept of Wu Wei does not imply inaction, but rather acting in accordance with the flow of life, allowing events to unfold naturally without forcing one's will upon the world. By embracing simplicity, humility, and spontaneity, individuals can achieve balance and avoid the conflicts that arise from striving against the natural order. Laozi's teachings are captured in the Tao Te Ching, a foundational text that has profoundly influenced Chinese culture, art, and spirituality. Daoism also introduces the concept of yin and yang, representing the complementary forces that embody the duality of existence. Yin and yang are not opposites, but interdependent elements that must be balanced to maintain harmony in the universe. This understanding of duality and balance is central to Daoist thought and has deeply influenced Chinese medicine, martial arts, and spiritual practices. Laozi's philosophy advocates for a way of life that seeks harmony with the natural world, offering a timeless guide for navigating the complexities of existence. The principles of Daoism, with their focus on simplicity, balance, and the flow of life, continue to resonate in today's world, particularly in areas such as environmental ethics, mindfulness practices, and holistic living. Stoicism, a school of Hellenistic philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium around the early 3rd century BCE, teaches that virtue, wisdom, and self-control are the paths to true happiness. Unlike other philosophical traditions that focused on abstract theories, Stoicism offered a practical guide to living, emphasizing resilience in the face of adversity and the importance of cultivating inner peace. The Stoics believed that the universe is governed by a rational order known as logos, and that to live a good life, one must align with this natural order by cultivating virtue and accepting what cannot be changed. The Stoic principle of amor fati, or love of fate, encourages embracing whatever happens in life, viewing every experience, whether positive or negative, as an opportunity for personal growth. This attitude helps individuals focus on what is within their control, namely, their thoughts, actions, and reactions, while letting go of anxiety over external events. Prominent Stoic philosophers, including Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, further developed these ideas. Epictetus, a former slave, emphasized that true freedom comes from understanding that while we cannot control external circumstances, we can control our responses to them. Seneca, a statesman and advisor to Emperor Nero, applied Stoic principles to daily life, offering practical advice on how to deal with anger, adversity, and success. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, practiced Stoicism in his leadership, famously recording his reflections in Meditations, a work that remains a cornerstone of Stoic literature. Stoicism's emphasis on resilience, rationality, and virtue has seen a resurgence in modern times, particularly in the fields of self-help and psychology. The Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot continues to provide valuable guidance for navigating the challenges of contemporary life. The Cynics and Epicureans were two influential schools of thought in ancient Greece that offered distinct approaches to life, each challenging conventional values and offering alternative paths to happiness. The Cynics, founded by Antisthenes and popularized by Diogenes of Sinope, advocated for a life of simplicity and rejection of societal norms. They believed that true happiness comes from living in accordance with nature, free from material possessions and social conventions. Diogenes, the most famous Cynic, lived in extreme poverty, famously residing in a large ceramic jar, and openly criticized the social norms of Athenian society. His behavior and teachings emphasized self-sufficiency, shamelessness, and the rejection of artificial desires. Cynics argued that the pursuit of wealth, power, and status only led to corruption and unhappiness, and that by discarding these false values, one could achieve true freedom and virtue. The Epicureans, founded by Epicurus in the 4th century BCE, offered a different perspective on the pursuit of happiness. Epicurus taught that the greatest good is pleasure, but he defined pleasure not as indulgence in luxury, but as the absence of pain and the presence of tranquility, or ataraxia. He advocated for a simple life focused on modest pleasures, intellectual pursuits, and the cultivation of friendships. Epicurus also emphasized the importance of overcoming the fear of gods and death, teaching that such fears were the primary sources of human anxiety and suffering. While Cynicism encouraged asceticism and a rejection of societal values, Epicureanism sought balance through moderation and the pursuit of mental peace. Both philosophies challenged the mainstream values of their time, offering frameworks for living that prioritized personal contentment and freedom from societal pressures. Their teachings continue to resonate today, particularly in discussions about minimalism, self-sufficiency, and the pursuit of a meaningful life as people search for alternatives to the materialism and stress of modern existence. The ideas of ancient philosophers have left a profound and enduring legacy, shaping not only the course of history, but also the way we think about ethics, politics, and the nature of reality. These philosophies continue to influence modern thought, providing foundational principles that guide our understanding of the world and our place within it. The ethical teachings of philosophers like Confucius, Socrates, and Aristotle have laid the groundwork for much of Western and Eastern moral philosophy. Concepts such as the Socratic method of questioning, Confucian social harmony, and Aristotle's idea of the golden mean are still integral to discussions of ethics and personal conduct. These ancient ideas continue to inform educational practices, legal reasoning, and everyday moral decision-making, underscoring their timeless relevance. In politics, the explorations of justice, governance, and civic duty by Plato and Aristotle remain influential. Plato's vision of a just society and Aristotle's analysis of different forms of government continue to resonate in contemporary debates about democracy, governance, and the role of the state. Their ideas provide a critical lens through which to examine modern political systems and the ethical responsibilities of leaders and citizens alike. Religiously, Zoroaster's dualism and the spiritual insights of Buddhist philosophers have profoundly influenced the development of major world religions. The Zoroastrian concepts of heaven, hell, and the cosmic battle between good and evil can be seen in many religious traditions, while Buddhist teachings on mindfulness, compassion, and the nature of suffering have gained global prominence. These philosophies not only shaped religious thought, but also offered frameworks for understanding the human experience that continue to inspire spiritual and psychological practices today. The legacy of ancient philosophy is not confined to the past. It is a living tradition that continues to evolve and inspire. By studying these ancient ideas, we gain not only historical insight, but also practical tools for navigating the complexities of modern life. From the ethical dilemmas we face to the search for personal meaning, the wisdom of the ancients remains a vital resource for understanding ourselves and the world around us. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through ancient philosophy. As we've seen, despite the vast differences in culture and geography, philosophers like Confucius, Socrates, and Zoroaster shared a common focus on ethics and moral behavior. This shared concern reveals a fascinating truth. Across the ancient world, these thinkers were addressing the same fundamental questions about how to live a good life and build a just society. And here's the surprising connection. While these philosophers lived centuries and continents apart, their ideas have converged in ways that continue to shape our modern world. Confucian ethics echo in Western virtue ethics. Zoroaster's dualism influenced major religions, and the Stoic focus on inner virtue aligns with teachings found in both Confucianism and Buddhism. These overlaps suggest that despite their differences, these ancient philosophies were tapping into universal truths about the human experience. So, as you reflect on these teachings, consider how their timeless wisdom still guides our lives today. If you found this exploration enriching, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Armchair Archaeology for more insights into history. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What other ancient traditions or philosophies would you like us to explore? Share in the comments below. Until our next discovery, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the flame of curiosity burning bright.